Welcome to Infinity Squared Online, where the opportunities to learn increase exponentially by the minute. With your host, Amairani. Come on, let's learn, it's time to learn. Come on, let's learn, it's time to learn some cool new stuff. With science, technology, engineering, art, agriculture, and math. A moment of science. Get it? No? Okay. Moment of science with me, Amairani. And I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that you're joining me today. But before we kind of jump into what we're doing today, I did want to ask you guys a very serious question. All right, you guys ready? It is, what did one tectonic plate say to another one when they bumped up against each other? Any takers? It said, sorry, my fault. But now that we have the serious stuff out of the way, let's kind of jump into what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to ask you guys another question. This one obviously is going to be about what we're about to do. And then feel free to pause after I ask the question so that you kind of have a moment to think about it. And then kind of come back to our video and we can just continue our discussion. All right. So what I'm going to ask you guys is, what do you think an environmental engineer is? What do you think that they do? So an environmental engineer is someone who uses their knowledge about the environment in order to identify problems they find and obviously create solutions for that. So one of the biggest things that environmental engineers are really dealing with is pollution. So pollution is basically our contamination of either water, earth, or air. So it's all of the stuff factories are releasing into the air. It's all of the chemicals that are going into our water and into our land. So all of these are not only affecting our earth, but they're also affecting us because we're the ones who are growing our food on it. We're the ones who are breathing this air. We're the ones who are drinking this water. So their job is very, very important, not only in helping our environment and keeping it healthy, but also keeping us safe and keeping us healthy as well. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what environmental engineers do, if you think that it might be something that you're interested in, maybe you're interested in engineering and you have this passion for the environment, you can combine both and definitely pursue that path. If you want more information, feel free to go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They have an occupational handbook and you can just type in environmental engineer and they'll be able to tell you what it is that they do. There's other parts to being an environmental engineer, so it'll give you more information about that as well, about their education and about their pay. So any questions that you might have about that, they'd be able to answer it for you there. So again, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about environmental engineers, feel free to go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Even though it's not the only thing environmental engineers are definitely working on and studying, pollution is something that is big because it's affecting us, like I said. It's affecting our land, it's affecting our air, it's affecting our water, and it's affecting our health. So in particular, we're going to be focusing on water. So as many of you know, you guys are very acquainted with water, right? You get thirsty, you drink water. You want to shower, you use the water. During the summer, whenever it gets really, really hot and we want to cool off, we go to Hurricane Harbor, we throw water balloons at each other, we go to the lakes, we go to the rivers. So it's something that we are very, very much acquainted with. However, would you want to drink the water that, you're swimming in during the summer, knowing that there's a lot of things in there, and a lot of people in there? You never know what's going into it. So what we're going to be talking about today is water filtration systems. So take a moment to pause this video and think about what you think that means. Water filtration systems combine machines, engineering, and chemistry in order to give us clean, safe water. So they take out things that don't belong or things that would potentially make us sick so that we don't actually have to ingest them. And so they're all coming together and just taking out things that really shouldn't be in there. And so what are some examples of filtration systems that you can see in your home? Take a moment to pause this video, and then once you kind of have a few ideas, we can come together and see what we came up with. now that you've had a moment to think about it, I would love to share 3 of my examples, but I would honestly also like to hear what you came up with. So just let me know what examples you came up with and if they're different from mine. So the first one that I came up with is coffee. Coffee. So the end result that is coffee happens through a filtration system. And all that means is that the coffee filter is preventing the coffee beans from actually going into the final drink, but it's allowing the smaller portions to go into your coffee. So instead of you actually having like the little grounds or the crushed ones, you don't have that in your drink, but you're still ending up with the caffeine in your drink. Another example that we might find is the AC system. So there's an actual filter in your AC, and all it's doing is it's trapping things that are in your air. So if you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you have dust in your house, it's trapping all of those particles so that you're not breathing that in your air. And the final one that I kind of came up with is the kidney. So that's an organ that is located in your body, and all it's doing is it's taking things out of the blood that either might make you sick or just don't belong. So again, let me know what you came up with, but if not, so the first thing you'll need is dirty water. So all I did was just went outside, grabbed some dirt, put it in a water bottle, and then just poured water in here and just shook it so that you end up with water that looks like this. That's the first thing you'll need. The next thing that you'll need is a bottle that is empty. So if you have a water bottle that is now empty, or if you have a soda bottle that is empty, if you have a 2-liter bottle that is empty, feel free to use that. So there's that. The next thing that you'll need is dirt. I grabbed this again from outside. I also am using a spoon. If you have sand, that also will work. Anything that is really fine, you can definitely use. The next thing that you'll be needing is pebbles. So things that are a little bigger, but they're not too big, just a little bit bigger than the dirt. And the final sort of layer that we'll be using will be these larger rocks. So just so you know, that's that one. You'll also be needing a coffee filter. You'll be needing some sort of container to be receiving the water that you're filtering out. You'll need a ruler or some sort of like stick, pencil, pen. Either of those work. You'll just need something that is long. And then the final 2 are things that you need to ask if you have permission to use. More than anything, just for the safety of you, make sure that you have permission from your parents to use them, and if not, make sure that you're being supervised. So I have a thumbtack here, and I also have a pair of scissors. So again, please be careful when you're using these. Again, if you have permission, be careful, and if not, make sure that you have an adult that's doing it or that is supervising you. Alright, so now that we have all of our materials, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to get started. First thing is we're going to cut off the bottom part of our bottle. So very carefully make sure that you are using the scissors to kind of make an incision, and then just cut around it. I'm actually going to cut off a little bit more. So make sure that you're being very careful. If you are not allowed to use the scissors, then make sure that you're asking someone who is supervising you, like a parent, a sibling, or something like that, who can help you out with that. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to put this aside. We're going to take our bottle cap, and we're going to use the thumbtack that we had. So all we're doing is we're placing that down, and we're going to make a hole, and this is where our water is going to be coming through. Put that there, and just maneuver it around so that you end up with a hole that water can come out through. So just move it around. You don't want it to be too big, but you also don't want the water to just be dripping through, like very slowly. You want to be able to see something. So just carefully, again, if you're not allowed to do this, make sure that you're asking for help. And as always, just be very, very careful. So once we have our hole, I think that's pretty good. So you can see it's pretty small, but still water will be able to come through there. So now that we have these, we are going to put them aside. And now the next thing is we're going to take our paper, and we're going to put that in our bottle. Obviously, like my hand is not going to be able to fit in there, so this is where our ruler comes in. So put that in there as far as you can. and then just use a ruler or a pencil or whatever it is to put that in there as far as you can. So carefully make sure that it's hitting the bottom. If you have a 2-liter soda, then this is probably a little bit easier for you. But yeah, so once you have that, make sure that it's lining the bottom though. Right. So now we have our first layer. The next layer is our soil. So we're going to take that and place that on top. So make sure that it's going to be in there. You can put like an inch or 2. It just depends on how much you want, how thick you want your layers to be. So just put that in the bottom. All right. Suddenly got hungry. I'm thinking of like brownies. The more you know. All right. Put that in there. Perfect. So my soil is now in there. I would show you, but it's kind of falling a little bit. All right. The next thing that I will do is I'll put our next level, and that will be our pebbles. Just put those in there, and that'll be a layer. So again, you can be an inch, it can be 2 inches, it's up to your preference. The next thing that we will do is put in our larger rocks. So these are ones that you found outside. These are ones that, you know, maybe your mom has some inside, but they're just larger ones. So as you can see, we're creating different layers, and so they're catching different things. So this top layer is catching things, for example, if we had rocks or if we had sticks, they'll be able to catch those. Then after that, the pebbles will be able to catch things that are a little bit smaller, and then even finer with the sand, those are the ones that are gonna be able to catch those. So, and obviously, the coffee filter is catching even the smallest particle. So we're gonna place that here. So I'm gonna put that here so you can see it. And we're gonna take our water and we're going to pour that in there. And then we're gonna watch it filter through. And so obviously, as you can see, it's coming out, you know, it has rocks in here, it had pebbles in here, it had a lot of really just icky stuff. And also look at this color. This is not an appetizing color. So if your water is looking like this, don't suggest you drink it. So now what we're seeing is you're slowly seeing our water come out. And so once again, what it's happening is just like the water filtration that we were talking about, it's going from each layer, and each one is taking out different things. Like I said, one of them, this water actually had rocks, it had pebbles in it, it had, I remember there being like a piece of, like a leaf in there, there were some sticks. So each one is doing their part and taking out different parts of the water. And so, obviously it's not the cleanest thing like right now. And so if we had more levels, if we had maybe more of the coffee filter, then we'd be having more water. And so in the city of Dallas, like I said, they have a water filtration system, and it's taking out a lot of the impurities and pollutants that are in there. And so our water is something very similar. So let me bring you guys a little bit closer so you can actually see. So as you can see, there's already a big difference. This is the water that was initially placed in. So again, you can see all of the grass, there's pieces of dirt, there's a blade of grass right there. There's also pebbles at the bottom, there's all this dirt. So all of this is being removed in our water. And so right here is our filtration system. And so this is our water actually coming out at the bottom. One thing that I will mention is there's obviously smaller things that we're not catching, as shown by the color. However, if you are considering drinking this, maybe not like this, but maybe a bit clearer, one thing that you would need to do for sure is boil it. So you can go to your kitchen, you can definitely go to your stove and boil that. And so what that's gonna do is it's gonna kill all of this bacteria, all of the microorganisms, anything that visibly we couldn't see, it's going to catch all of those and it's going to kill them off so that it's actually safe to drink. And so once again, just so that you see the difference, this is what our water originally looked like, and this is how it's coming out. Very cool, isn't it? It's a little slow, but oh my god, I'm so excited. Hi friends! Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope that you had a really good time and that you learned something new. I look forward to seeing your answers to the questions I asked down below. And if there's anything that you want to learn about, anything that maybe interests you, or a career, we can definitely explore that together. I look forward to seeing your comments below. And I look forward also to seeing you at our next Infinity Squared segment. Be there or be squared.